Groucho Marx said the secret to success in business is to have a reputation for honesty and fair dealing, and if you can fake that, you've really got it made. So, yeah, I'll try to appear honest, you may say. That's what the opportunist's goal is. But we're much better judges of character, and this is for complicated Darwinian reasons. The reason you're honest is not because you make a rational calculation that it would be good to be honest or rational to be honest. It's because you feel a duty to be honest, because you would feel empathy for the person who would suffer the injury if you cheated that person. And those emotions which drive moral decisions in those contexts are like signs on your face. If you know someone well, you know what their emotional makeup is. And when you ask people, why were you so sure about that person? Why would he return your honor? I know him well enough to know that it just wouldn't compute for him to think about keeping my cash. And that's what you want your boss to think about you when the time comes to be promoted. How can you get him to think that? It's very simple. Just be that kind of person. If you're not that kind of person, word of that will leak out one way or another. It will be not because you've been caught doing something necessarily, but there will be some lack of inner peace that you experience, or just something different about you that will make people not quite comfortable trusting you. And what's different about the human species compared with all the other animal species is the extent to which we have been able to reap the advantages of economies of large-scale production. We can divide tasks up, we can specialize, we can have lots of people doing different things and all put it together in complex ways. That requires an enormous amount of cooperation and trust to achieve that. And that requires people about whom you believe they wouldn't cheat you if they have a chance to do it when nobody would catch them. So, do you want to be successful? I think most people do want to be successful. I don't think that's a bad thing to want to be successful. But if you want to be successful, the steps that will lead you there with the greatest reliability are not the steps that somebody who wanted only to be successful would take. The Buddhist way is instructive here. You get from point A to point B by maybe heading off in an oblique direction, one side or the other, and you get there sooner than if you try to plow ahead straight forwards.
You know, I think most people think success is a good thing, but what about being a successful liar? A successful thief? What about a successful terrorist? Not so good, right? When we think about success, we're defining it in terms of a goal. We define success as the attainment of some sort of goal. And real question really is whether your goal is any good, right? You know, the success of a knife is to cut because it was designed to cut. The success of a racehorse is to run because it was bred to run. What does success look like for a human being? That kind of depends on what you think a human being is. In order to ask these questions, you need some sort of a worldview, some sort of a cogent, some sort of coherent, sort of metaphysical commitment to something. It's kind of like having an answer to the questions that the security guard will ask you when you he finds you in the middle of the night. He'll ask you, you know, who are you? What are you doing here? And where are you going? And no matter how you address the question of success or the pursuit of happiness, in some sense, we all have some intuitive response to that, and that cogent worldview is going to affect how you live. In fact, as a Christian, I think that there's a lot more to life than just trying to be successful at work. I think Professor Frank might agree with that. And I mean, I'm sure he would, actually, because I've read some of the things he's written, and I know him as a friend for many years. But even in the work setting, I think how we live out our lives make a huge difference in the success that we experience, at least the meaning and purpose. And in fact, I think it's self-evident that how we choose to live our lives cannot be separated from what we believe in. Our day-to-day lives are shaped by what we believe in. And certainly that has been true in my own life, in my own career decisions and choices.
For more information about the Veritas Forum, including additional recordings and a calendar of upcoming events, please visit our website at veritas.org.